pay for your draft anyway, regardless of the color you're in, you know. Um, and yeah, he's ridiculous, so don't even worry about it. Just take him, be happy you got him. He's better than any creature or removal that you could get in the format, I'm sure. Being able to take himself up to 5 and then just draw you the best out of the top 3 cards every turn. Although, you know, diminishing returns be what it may. You know, is just ridiculous. So, and if you ever get his exile, his ultimate off, I mean, you win. So, Jawari Shapeshifter is interesting. I think it's a really good ally. Let's see, it just comes into the battlefield as a copy of an ally, right? For only 2 mana. So, clone for 2 is pretty good. Especially when people are really happy to play Rite of Replication for 4, because, you know, they can copy an ally. Obviously, you need a lot of other allies to make this guy good. I wouldn't want to play Jawari Shapeshifter unless I had, like, 6 or 7 other allies. I mean, you want to be in a heavy ally deck to make Jawari Shapeshifter worthwhile. So, you know, don't make the mistake of playing him in a deck with only 4 allies or something. You know, a lot of times you'll draw it and nothing else, and that'll suck. Nice bonus, of course, is that you can copy your opponent's allies. So maybe the threshold isn't quite as bad as So maybe with 6 he's okay, just because you can copy your opponents. So that's fine. But still, you know. Mysteries of the Deep is pretty solid. Not great in aggressive decks, but not horrible either. It's 5 casting costs, so you have to look at your mana curve and decide whether you can afford the tempo loss of spending 5 mana on it. You're going to want to play it for the landfall, so it's going to be a sorcery, which is fine. It's like almost a Tidings, not quite. And it should be pretty solid. So, you know, I wouldn't. If you have a really defensive deck, you know, I might take this higher. Take it over solid creatures. Wouldn't take it over removal. You know, if you don't have a defensive deck, then, you know, I might think about not taking it. So, I mean, it just depends on your deck if you think it fits in your curve and what your needs are. So, it's certainly a nice tool, you know, but you have to really consider, you know, where you're going to put it. And you know, it's by no means just like a given that it's a great card all the time and you want to play 3 of them, you know. If you play 3 of these, you're going to die a lot to being too slow. Unless it's your only 5 casting costs and everything else is cheap, and then maybe 3 is good. So that's fine. Okay. Although, and I guess the following ones are easy to landfall because you drew cards. Okay, Permafrost Trap. It's like a double Hookmaster, right? For 4, except without the creature attached. And then you could pay it for 1 blue if your opponent had a green creature. So it's a lot like a bounce spell. It's good in aggressive decks with a lot of flyers and stuff. I just think of it as kind of like a Whiplash Trap. Except this one, they don't have to pay for that creature again, they just have to wait. So sometimes that'll be better, sometimes that'll be worse. Usually worse. So it's okay. I wouldn't pick it very highly. But it's certainly, if I didn't have that kind of disruption in my deck and I needed it, then yeah, sure. Then I would go up in my ranking. But yeah, not a hugely high pick. Quest for Liz Temple, you know, never going to play that, so don't worry about it. It goes in your fun deck collection. Maybe it'll get played and constructed someday, who knows. Sejiri Merfolk, colorless and a blue for a 2/1, which is fine. And then, just because 2 for 2/1s have usually been okay in this format. But if you're playing blue-white, then this guy's just ridiculous. He's uncommon, so you won't see that many, so there's not a reason to play with blue-white. But it's a nice bonus if you are, because then he's just ridiculous. Then he has first strike and lifelink. So, if you're playing blue-white, take him very, very highly. You know, I'd still take removal over it, obviously, but you know, take it over most any other creature. I mean, Calcite Snapper's nice, but him coming down on 2 mana is pretty sick. So, although I might see if I can get him to wheel and take the Snapper. So, I mean, that's just depending on your draft where you are. Selective Memory is not worth playing, so don't. Spell Contortion is okay. I wouldn't mind playing it. Yeah, I wouldn't take it highly. You take it late. But the ability to draw some extra cards and almost mana leak something. You'll be able to counter a lot of things with it. Not as many as you'd like, but it'll work out at some point probably. Surikar Banisher, I think, is one of the best. Also one of the best new creatures in blue. Blue got some really good tools. I mean, blue really went up there in the rankings in this set. So, Banisher is 5 for 3/3. Mana War. It returns a tapped creature though. So, a lot of the times you're just going to be returning like a 2-drop or something to their hand. But it's still, he's still really good. I would take these pretty highly. It's a really good creature. 3/3 body. I mean, if you're flying over in the air and you can drop a couple of these, turn 5, 6, totally shut down your opponent's ground game. So, and I mean he's a beat stick regardless. So it's really, really good. I think some people don't see how good he's going to be. The Thada Adel Acquisitor, colorless and 2 blue for a 2/2 island walk. And then if you hit your opponent, you get to search their library for an artifact, put it into play under your and you can play it. You exile it, and then you can play it. So you have to pay the mana